The Fox 5 Morning News at 7.
You know that last month you made me work so late, I missed saying goodbye to my gam-gam?
I'm sorry, what?
My grandmother. I told you that I needed to see her because she was very, very sick. You said if I left early, I'd get fired. And she died before I made it to the hospital.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I had no idea that you called your grandmother.
Kevin Spacey. Oh, he's so good. Does that scene seem familiar maybe in your workplace? Does your boss not give you the respect you deserve? Aha. Joining us now, CEO of Fortune 500 consulting firm and also author of the new book, The Respectful Leader, Mr. Gregg Ward, joining us now. Greg, good morning.
Good morning.
Gotta love that scene from that movie, right?
Hysterical.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, what made you write this book? We're all in the work environment. We all have bosses here and there that we kind of... What made you write this book?
Well, I actually started a long time ago as a specialist trainer for the New York City Police Department. And I found that sometimes cops don't get the respect that I think they would deserve. But I also found that even in the normal workplace, people tend to get a little short and abrupt with each other. And I felt that, you know what, sometimes it's a good thing to just treat people with respect. It actually works.
It does. It's all about how you say things. Sometimes you can still get that message across. What are the most common things that you see?
Well, I think the thing that I see a lot in the workplace is sometimes when a boss doesn't respect you, they just kind of ignore you. And maybe they don't even say good morning or how are you or how you doing. They don't check in with you like you and I do regularly in the workplace. So generally you're going to find that if your boss doesn't respect you, they're going to maybe interrupt you, or they might let others interrupt you or treat you with disrespect. They might keep you out of the loop, not let you know what's going on, or they might criticize you in public, which is really not.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. A lot of the things are just basic common decency,
Yes.
how you should treat other people, not just the people you work with. But okay, let's go. You mentioned a little bit and touched on some of this, but let's go through the 5 signs your boss does not respect you. So if you can relate to this, heads up, everybody. Number 1, you mentioned this, your boss interrupts you and ignores you in meetings regularly. What does that mean? That you're just invisible to your boss, or he doesn't want to hear what you have to say?
Well, basically, they've decided that what you have to offer really isn't that valuable to them, and they're just going to cut you off and keep going, or they might let somebody else cut you off as well.
Wow. Okay, doesn't practice regular respect genuinely? Does that say,
right.
You mentioned this, there's no please, there's no thank you. This is what you teach a 5-year-old, right?
Exactly. We learn this when we're children.
Right.
There's nothing magical about what I'm talking about when you treat people with respect. It's common courtesy. It's what we all know that we're supposed to do. Sometimes we get too busy. I get it. We're all busy people. But at the end of the day, if we don't treat each other with respect and decency, then what are we doing?
Exactly. What are we? And this next one's pretty good as well, because when a boss witnesses other people treating you with disrespect, like he tolerates this.
Yes,
that
he does.
Says a lot, right?
Yes, he does.
A boss should step in when he sees that.
Absolutely. A boss should really not allow other people to disrespect you, especially if they're doing it themselves. It gets really messy. So it's up to the boss to really take those people aside and say, hey, cut that out. You need to treat everybody equally and with respect.
Okay, next you say the boss does not acknowledge you for your talents, your skills, or perhaps perspectives that you bring to the table at work. That's almost going with the whole, they're ignoring you.
Look, the reason they hired you is because they thought you brought something to the table that was worthwhile. So if you're going to hire somebody to do that, then let them do their job.
Exactly. Okay, lastly here, doesn't communicate with you other than just assigning the work, overseeing your work, and that's it.
That's it. If you're working in a team, which most of us are these days, you need your boss to communicate what's going on with the organization, what's going on with the team. It's imperative that bosses communicate with their employees, and if they don't, that's a pretty good sign that they don't respect you.
Okay, so we've kind of laid out some of the signs that your boss doesn't respect you. Let's put all those together. What can we do about it? How do you change things to make your boss respect you as an employee and as a person?
Well, one of the things you've got to figure out is what is it that your boss actually does respect. It's usually around the areas of your skills, what the things that you actually got hired for in the first place, and maybe you got to play those up a little bit more. Also, if you've got a boss who just feels that they deserve to be respected because they're the boss, that's a really tough one. No one respects anybody who demands that they be respected. It's kind of like Hartman on South Park, respect my authority. It doesn't work. Instead, you've got to figure out what does your your boss really respect about you and play on those things?
I'm curious about whether or not some of these bosses behave that way at work, because that's how they are in real life. That's who they are as a person, so then you got to deal with that as well. Greg, thank you for coming. The Respectful Leader is the book. The book launch is happening at Warwick's in La Jolla tonight at 7:30. And please be respectful when you show up. Greg will be there. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.